So they're lined up. Corners ready, drivers ready. Erickson's going to move into the center at the start. All right, on the tone in less than 5. All right, and they're off. Dave's going to try to lead him around this race without making a big mistake like last race. He broke. So right there, Dave leading him around. Brian Shook and Sean moving up into third. Oh no, not making a mistake, gets it going. So right now, Dave's gonna try to lead him around. Brian Shook in that second spot. Sean in the third. Man, Sean's car is a missile down that middle straightaway. Sean right on the back bumper of Brian Shook. Down the straight they go, through the sweeper. Sean right there following Brian Shook. Battle for that second spot. Dave's gonna just try to walk away. He's running a fast lap, 12.7. From Dave. Brian Shook 13.2, Sean 13.4, Jake 13.8, and Lem 13.6. So Brian Shook's going to try to hold off Sean Maybell for that second spot. Sean getting a little sideways there. He's got a lot of motor in that car. So Sean going to try to make up some time. Brian Shook going to try to hold off Sean. So right there, Dave down the straightaway, 12.9. His fast lap is still 12.7. Brian Shook in that second spot. Sean Maybell in the third. Through the switchback to go down that center straightaway. Sean smoothed out quite a bit since the start. He's right back on the back bumper of Brian Shook. Down the straightaway. Shook hiding that high line, carrying lots of speed to that sweeper. Brian Shook trying to hold off Sean. Down the center straight they go. Sean's car is a missile. Brian Shook makes a mistake. Here goes Sean. Sean playing it safe. Whoa, man. They almost get together at the end of the straight. So Sean played it safe. He could have went for it, but you don't want to risk taking both drivers out. Watch the straight. Oh, okay, and it's clear. So Sean right there, right on the back bumper of Brian Shook. Brian Shook gets a little squirrely. There goes Sean. Right there, Sean moving up into that second spot. Brian Shook in the third. Jake's not too far behind. Sean going to try to hold off Brian Shook. 3 minutes to go. 3 minutes to go. Dave has checked out. He's running a 12.8 his last lap. So Dave hitting the straightaway in that BBC. That's a first debut car. I believe that car's not even out yet. Sean Maybell running a TC 6.1. Brian Shook running a TC 6.1. Sean makes a mistake, gets turned around. Here comes Jake. Jake gonna put the pressure on Sean. Sean's gonna have to do a lot of work to catch up to Brian Shook. Brian Shook down the straightaway. Sean down the straightaway. Here comes Jake. Jake's car also got lots of motor in that car. Just a missile down the straightaway. Jake all over the back bumper of Sean Maybell. Down right there, entering the straightaway. Sean trying to hold off Jake. Brian Shook trying to pull away. Jake makes a small mistake entering the sweeper. It's going to give Sean some room. So Sean trying to catch Brian Shook. Brian Shook, here's second place driver down the straightaway in the black and orange. 2 minutes to go. Dave down the straightaway, checking out fast lap 12.6. Dave is throwing down lap times. He is right behind Jake, that fourth place driver. Whoa, getting a little squirrely in the entrance of the sweeper. So Dave's kind of checking out. Your second place driver, Brian Shook, down the straightaway. Third place, Sean Maybell. Fourth place, Jake. So closest battle right now. They're all pretty spread out even. Brian Shook's trying to hold off Sean. Sean trying to hold off Jake. Looks like Lem's going to pull over, let him go. Good sportsmanship here from these drivers. Jake's got Dave all over his back bumper. Good right there, letting him by. Good move. So Jake's going to try to tuck in and follow Dave, find out how he's getting that fast line. Dave's last lap 12.9, back to with a 12.7. Brian Shook's fast lap 13 flat. So, so right now, Dave running that number 1 spot. Brian Shook into second. Oh, look there. Dave's just going to let him go, battle it out. He must have made a mistake. He's got a nice, comfortable lead. So Brian Shook down the straightaway. Sean down the straightaway. Sean making up some time on Brian Shook. Brian Shook 13.5. Sean 13.2. Down that center straight they go. Oh no! Oh no! Alright, looks like Dave's gonna let it go. So right now, your leader, Brian Shook, followed by Sean Maybell. So Brian Shook, here comes Sean. Sean to the inside, down the straightaway they go. Sean Maybell making it way around. He's the new leader right there in the white and red through that switchback. Brian Shook all over his back bumper down the center part of the straight. Sean's been doing this about towards the end of the race. He starts throwing down fast laps. Sean, 12-9. That's the end of the clock. Race it to the line. Brian Shook makes a mistake. So Jeremy's trying to keep it going. Here comes Jake. Jake's going to try to make the move on Brian Shook. Oh, Jake's already done. I should have looked at the screen before I started yelling that out. All right. Start freaking Brian Shook out. That's the end of the race. Everybody is done. All right. So Sean.